Right, so the engine is getting close to coming out, so I thought I'd do a little video to wrap up this season 2, just going over everything that has been done to the Twingo since I first got it about 13 months ago. There's a lot, so we'll start on the outside, do the engine, wherever it is, backwards, then we'll go on the interior, because there's quite a few changes to go over. Right, we'll go front to back. Obviously there's a few holes for cooling and airflow in here. We have stickers for the tow bar. The fog lights are gone, replaced with brake ducts, which are currently disconnected because I've had this bumper off very recently. We have some silvered lights in there, new headlights. Lots of dents and scratches that I need to do something about. Big dent there, big scratch there still. Right, wheels. Came with 14-inch steels. These are some 15-inch Clio Dynamique wheels with some Toyo TR1s on. These are going to be my wet set or driving set of wheels and tyres, because I have some others which we'll see in a moment. We put new brake discs, we put new brake pads. We put a new anti-roll bar, which is polybushed on some Clio wishbones, which have given it additional caster. And somewhere up there, braided brake lines and coilovers. Talking of caster, you can see how much further the wheel sits in the wheel arch now with those Clio wishbones. Down the side, nothing's changed here. Buy some merch, Patreon subscribers get discount. Stickers, same wheels at the back. More air holes. Coilovers at the back. Replica cup spoiler, which looks pretty cool. The aerial's gone because there's no CD player inside. So yeah, that's pretty much the exterior because the other side's the same. Whilst we were talking about tyres, these are the tyres that will be going on another set of rims. So these are some... Where's the one that I can get to? This GT GTR2s. These are used up in the Fun Cup race series, which are some mad things that look like Volkswagen Beetles but have nothing similar left. They are semi-slicks. They're the equivalent of your AR1s, Yoko AO whatevers, Toyo Archer plates. Got a good deal on these, so we'll be using them. That's an engine stand mount, which shouldn't be in here. Spare wheel all gone. And we've got the strut brace in here to strengthen all this up. Obviously we have the JP Cage's half cage in here. Interior wise, clearly very stripped. Need to put some door cards on here because these have gone. Need some door handle pulls. We have a bucket seat. We have a 6-point harness. Lots of things just entirely stripped out. We have a wider rear view mirror so I can see out. Dashboard is all pretty original. I need to actually get rid of these tweeters because every little helps in the weight. We're going to strip it down to here so everything below there will go. The centre console is gone. I've just got my bodged voltage display so I can check on the alternator whilst the car's running, and some USB and 12-volt power to recharge batteries and phones if I'm driving. Like I say, the entire centre console's gone. I think that's pretty much it for the interior. So we'll go under the bonnet. Right, still the same rubbish engine. It's had a full service. Had new spark plugs, new oil, new battery, new auxiliary belt, so that was all good. That's what was stopping it running. We took off the stock rubbish air filter system that was cable tied on, put this back in here. Tactical bit of duct tape holding it together. This is probably going to change when the engine swaps, but we'll see. Probably run it to start with. I realised not only did I fail to cut that off, but this is actually rubbed through the engine pull thing here as well, so top quality bodge. Yeah, hopefully very soon this will be gone, and then the engine bay can all be cleaned and painted, and a new engine can go in, which is exciting times. But how much has this all cost so far, I hear you ask? Well, I have kept track of it all, and obviously the car cost £150 to start with, which is a pretty good deal. And my goal with this was always to have a fun little track car that cost less than hiring one, and that's not the case. Certainly wasn't the case for the first track day, but I'm pretty much breaking even on the next one I do, and then we're somewhat in profit from the third one onwards. So I reckon we're, with the cost of the engine that's to be fitted and all the bits to go on it, which I have in the shed, which we'll go see in a moment, without any unknown costs of, there's some costs of pipe work for the intercooler to come, I think we're around the £2,000 mark for everything that has happened to this car, which is quite a lot of money for a base spec Twingo. And people say, oh, you should just bought a Twingo RS, and I probably could have done. If I had had £2,000 kicking around at the time, I could have got a really ropey one, or I could have got a nice-ish GT, which is the engine that's going in here, but I wouldn't have one with a cage and coilovers and track experience in it. So it's been a really nice thing to build it up from scratch, and I'm super interested to see what the next steps are going to be. So let's go look in the shed. This is an absolute bomb site. So hold on a second. Right, so we obviously have the engine to go in, and this is hopefully better turbo, because the old one was on there, and there's all sorts of oil just dripping out of that. So when I got this engine, it had a bit of a smoky exhaust, which was a suspected turbo failure. Guy couldn't be bothered to fix the turbo, so I've got a spare turbo. There's the cat, there's a downpipe, there's a gearbox to go on here. Plan is we're just going to lob this in, check everything works, check all the ECU works, run it around a bit, then take it back out and mod it with new bits. So there's the loom under there, there's a box of loom, and some more parts. There's spare brake discs, there's a timing belt kit to put on it, there's the aircon pump or the alternator over there, there's a load of brake discs in there, not brake discs, brake drums, all sorts of stuff. But I'm going to have to put the camera down and get these other bits out. So somewhere in that pile there is also a set of injectors from a Clio 182. So they're bigger than what comes with the Twingo as standard, so they provide more fuel, so it can have it mapped a bit higher. And to deal with that fuel we need some more cooling. So we have one intercooler and not a new radiator, but a hopefully better radiator. This is from a Renault 5 Turbo, I believe. So it's a fair bit thicker and in much nicer condition than the radiator that is on the car at the moment. So whilst it is probably a little bit smaller, it should be much more efficient. So combined with that, combined with all of this, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, when it's all done, we'll get to around the 140-150 horsepower mark. Which means if I can get the car to 750 kilos, we should reach my 200 horsepower a ton goal. So we're going to have to take some more out of the car.